If I buy bread at a grocery store, sandwich bread, it's almost always going to be cracked wheat bread. I don't know why, but my family loves this bread. Now, I am Amy from A Red Spatula, and I'm here to tell you that you can actually make this bread at home, and it is so much better, obviously, than anything that you can buy at the store. Even if you have never made yeast bread before, don't worry, I'm going to show you everything that you need to know. You are going to love this recipe, and I promise you're going to want to make it over and over again. Now, another really great thing about this recipe is a large batch recipe. So you're going to walk away with 3 loaves of bread or rolls. I usually make a combination of both for my family. Now, as always, of course, don't forget to subscribe. You don't want to miss any of the new videos coming out. And let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, so we have a couple steps to do before we start making the actual dough. The first thing that you want to do is you want to soak your cracked wheat in boiling water. I'm going to let this go probably for about 30 to 45 minutes until it cools enough to where it just feels lukewarm to the touch. The second step is that I always make a sponge for my breads, especially my wheat breads. This hydrates the dough. It adds to kind of a perfect texture. And all that you do is you mix together water, your wheat flour, a little bit of your wheat flour, yeast, cover it, let it sit at room temperature for an hour or 2. Now, once both of these things are done, the cracked wheat has been soaked and cooled, the sponge has gone for at least an hour. At this point, all we're going to do is we throw everything into the mixer, or you can knead it by hand, and you're going to want to knead it until it's smooth. Once it's kneaded, you're going to cover it. We're going to let this rise until it's doubled. Now, this is a big batch recipe, like I mentioned before. This will make 3 good size loaves of bread. When I make this for my family, I never make 3 loaves though. I always make 1 pan of rolls because my family loves dinner rolls. And so I do 2 loaves of bread and then the rolls as well. So you go ahead and divide this up, and then I'm going to show you how to shape a loaf in case you've never done one before. This is one, I did this in bakeries all the time. You're going to want to fold this out into and it doesn't have to be perfect at all. I don't stress about it. So fold it into a rectangle or a square, and then fold in both sides, and then you're going to roll it down until you come to this point, pinch it closed, and then it goes right into your loaf pan. You might have to watch that again in case you're unfamiliar with it. So here we go. We have 2 good sized loaves, and then of course that pan of rolls like I told you. Cover this. We're going to let this sit at room temperature until it's doubled again. Then and make sure your oven is preheated as well. These need to go into a hot oven. I always like to egg wash mine. You don't have to do that, but I really like that shine that it gives. It's optional, of course. And then another thing that's optional, but I also like to do, is I like to score the bread. And what I do is I just take a razor and cut right down the middle. You can even put butter in there and make it a butter top loaf. Then once that's, you're going to bake these. Now, I always bake them to 195 degrees. I always go by temperature, not by time or by color or anything like that. 195 degrees is the perfect temperature for wheat bread. When it comes out, if you want, again, this is extra. I love to brush it with a little bit of butter. It makes it the perfect top. And then you can see here, and these are the rolls too. You can see how soft and tender these are. My family just eats these up. This pan lasts no time in my house. And then the bread is the same way. You can see it's ultra soft, so fluffy, so delicious. This is so hot on my fingers. You can't tell, but it's so hot. And then this is what the bread looks like. It's beautiful, it's fluffy, it's a perfect loaf. And even if you are new to bread making, you're going to be able to do this loaf. No problem, I promise you. Now, of course, don't forget to subscribe. You don't want to miss any new videos coming up.